just got done with a week that didn't have a functioning scoreboard.
Test. Good. All right, hi and welcome to Hudson Middle School, where tonight the Hudson Raiders take on the St. Paul Centennial Cougars. We also want to welcome and celebrate Parents Night. We want to take the time to thank parents for their sacrifice and love for the boys as they continue to grow and mature into young men. All the boys are extremely thoughtful and caring of each other and all due to having such wonderful parents. So please rise and stand as we recognize the wonderful Hudson parents that we have. All right, up first we have Brad Hubbard with parents Louise and Michael. So Brad, come on down to lane 5 or 4. Yep, walk on over. Up next, we have Jacobi with parents Scott and Rebecca.
Yay, team. Yeah, Okay, am I losing my mind? This should be the transmitter end. That should be the receiver. I've switched them.
Up next, we have Kirkpatrick with parents Don and Rhonda.
Yay, parents. So, we haven't tested anything either.
Up next, we have Kudinger with parents Lindsay and Thomas. Up next, we have Max Platson with parents Ann and Jeremy. Up next, we have Dr. Sias with parents Stan and Kelly. Up next, we have Logan Walters with parents Josh and Michelle. Up next, we have Jonas Andrews with parents John and Marcy. Up next, we have Jannusch with parents Matt and Zurn.
All right, so who can see the white mouse that the white cursor that goes from an arrow to this so that I can lift it up on top of the white at the top? Go ahead, go.
Up next we have
Tell me
Sarah
when it
from
goes
Manchester
to-
with parents Kara and Andrew.
Tell me when it goes to where I can lift. That may be the best we get.
Up next we have Tisha Mannem with parents Karuna and Sridhar.
There we
Jen,
go.
did you still need a mouse?
Yes, I do.
Okay. This one
But I
should
need
work.
a hub, I think. I might need a hub. Maybe not. No, I should be okay. All right.
Up next we have Tisha Mannem with, Up next we have Henry Matzek with parents Doug and Kelly.
There you go. Have a meet.
Up next we have Noah Mertens with parents Megan and Joshua.
All right.
Up next we have Owen Beaton with parents Stacy and Matt. Up next we have Brink Slavsky with parents John and Tanya. Up next we have Nicholas Soriano-Murcia with parents Karen and Nancy. Up next we have Mannem Woodward with parents Lindsay and Lee.
I'm putting the cupping on my back. I almost didn't make it.
Up next we have Kent Zurn with parents Daryl and Hiroko.
Okay, Eve dives isn't opening.
Up next we have Becky Brinks with parents Sarah and Marty. Up next we have Will Garza with parents Jesse and Kate.
3 judges for diving?
Well, for diving?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be 100%.
I'm setting up E-dive right now.
Oh.
Up next we have Tyler Hay with parents Mark and Laura. we have Hester with parents John and Amy. Up next we have McKenzie with parents Lisa and Chad. Up next we have the birthday boy, Wainionpaa with parents Christy and Mark. Up next we've got Ben Weaver with parents Carrie and Paul. Up next we have Woolery with parents Brian and Angie.
Is that M-O-N-N?
Up next we have Nate Zimmerman with parents Andy and Emily. Up next we have Murphy Beatty with parents George and Susan. No, I just got accepted. Up next we have August Castro with parents Jeannie and Alan. Up next we have Noel Daniels with parents Brad and Almaz. Up next we have Andrew Hanson with parents Bruce and Sarah. Up next we have Jarrett Maalis with parents Justin and Jessica. Up next we have Jack Pomeroy with parents Heather and Ryan. Up next but not present is Ben Schreiber with parents Joy and Mark. And lastly, we have Mr. Anthony Weefel with parents Jeff and Robin.
Good evening and welcome to Hudson Middle School for tonight's swim and dive matchup between the Centennial and your Hudson Raiders. In line with the WIAA and Big Rivers Conference, Hudson High School requires good sportsmanship at education-based athletic events. Admission to an event is a privilege, and with that privilege comes responsibility. responsibility to conduct oneself in a respectful manner where the event is enjoyable for athletes, coaches, officials, and fans. Specific to this event, we remind you that flash photography is not permitted at any time during the meet. Lastly, please be tobacco and drug products in an area used by public schools. And let's meet our teams. For Centennial, their head coach is Pete Crawford, whose mom also happens to be here tonight. Welcome. Centennial is also assisted by Kevin Setterholm and Lee Ray Lee. The Raiders are coached by head coach Ross Campbell, assisted by Brandon Kelso, Sydney Cernahouse, Emily Greenwood, and Cody Lorenz.
Good evening, and welcome to the home event here for Hudson against Centennial. We're kicking it off here with the 200 medley relay.
The boys 200-yard medley relay, JV.
And we've got 4 squads from Centennial in here. This is the JV for Centennial.
In lane 4 for Centennial, Brendan Cretion, Evan Lotzenschlager,
Centennial boys have quite a squad of swimmers here, which is great. Fantastic to see.
Chase Hortzman, Harvey Chapko, Ethan Van Wall, and Calvin Walt-Vogel. And in lane 6 for Centennial, Quinlan Wells, Sebastian Kinsella, Alexander George, and Grayson Westphaser.
On to the breaststroke here. And into the fly. All the boys are in the water with the fly. Looks like in lane 3 it's Elliot Shepard. Lane 4, Peyton Trojanowski. Lane 5, Ethan Van Weld. And lane 6, Alexander George. Here we go. In the water for lane 4 is Danny Greeman. Lane 5, that's Calvin Waldvogel. Lane 6, Grayson Wespeser. Sorry, I'll do my best with these names, but I might botch them. I'll try my hardest here. Nice work. All right, on to the varsity.
Event 4, the boys 200-yard medley relay, varsity.
do my best here. I'll try and get through these. For Centennial, lane 1, you got Brennan Nielsen, Alex Peacock, Aiden Anderson, and Benjamin Larkin. Lane 2, Hudson, you got Alfonso Hester, Benny Brinks, Jack Pomeroy, and Nate Zimmerman. For lane 3, Centennial, Grant Page, Sawyer Colada, Tyler Colada, and Jacob Diggory. For Hudson, lane 4, you got Grant Slavsky, Tyler Sias, Andrew Hanson, and Jarrett Maalis. Lane 5, you got Caleb Cregan, Brino Schubauer, Joseph Murray, and T. Greason Stormon. In lane 6, you got Murphy Beatty, Tyler Hay, Ben Weaver, and August Castro. In lane 7, you got Jaden Lynch-Rye, Matthew Kuffner, Ethan Segura, and Jaden Manthe. And then in lane 8 for Hudson, you've got Jacob Woolery, Max Platson, Owen Pevan, and Owen Jacobi. And the Hudson A squad looks like they've got a pretty sizable lead. Jarrett Maalis bringing us home here. And the Hudson A squad in with a 143.92. With Centennial A coming in second and Hudson B coming in third. Centennial B coming in fourth. There we go. So the winning time there for Hudson A was a 143.92. Centennial swam a 151.60 for second place. Hopefully we get the feed up with the times, but I'll do my best to kind of read those off here.
The boys 200-yard freestyle, Jacobi.
And we've got the JV boys 200 free here.
Swimming in lane 1 for Centennial, Nick Peacock. In lane 3 for Centennial, Alexander George. In lane 4 for Hudson, Jonas Andrews. In lane 5 for Centennial, Gavin Manthe. In lane 6 for Hudson, Anthony Weefel. In lane 7 for Centennial, Branson Backus. And in lane 8 for Hudson, Logan Alters.
I'm just cheating a little bit. You know, somebody's going to be reading them off. I might as well just let them read them. So that's the lineup there. All right, we will try and get these times going here for you. We got a little bit of a late start with some technical issues, but we'll get better. We'll get better. So one of the things we're going to be doing here is should be able to get names and times up, but need to get the systems talking to one another. All right, we got our Jonas Anderson with 2:16.41. Jonas was in lane 4. And we've got swimmers coming in lane 5 and 6. In lane 5 with a 2:30.32. That is Gavin Manthe from Centennial. In lane 6, Alex Weefel with a 2:29.75 out of Hudson. In lane 8 over there, you had Logan Alters Hudson with a 2:17.71. Nice job, Logan. In lane 3, Alexander George in with a 2:51.68. In lane 1, we had Nick Peacock, Centennial, 3:09.86. And over in lane 7, we had Branson Backus with a 3:04.25. Here we got the varsity 200-yard free. Lane 2, we're going to have Kent Zurn, Hudson. Lane 3, T. Greason Storman. I don't have the full name there, or else I'd give it to you. My apologies. Lane 4, Jarrett Maalis. Lane 5, Isaac Guyan, Centennial. Lane 6, Henry Matzek, Hudson. Lane 7, Garrett Clark, Centennial. And lane 8, Nate Zimmerman, Hudson.
Swimming in lane 2 for Hudson, Kent Zurn. In lane 3 for Centennial, Talon Grayson Stormer. In lane 4, Jared Maalis, Hudson. In lane 5, Isaac Nguyen, Centennial. In lane 6, Henry Matzek, Hudson. In lane 7, Garrett Clark, Centennial. And in lane 8, Nate Zimmerman, Hudson.
And Jarrett Maalis out with the lead. You got Kent Zurn and Greason Storman. Pretty neck and neck right now. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Isaac over there in lane 5. That is kind of neck and neck with Kent. Really close for those two. That's quite a race. I think Jarrett's got a pretty good handle on coming in first. And Jarrett's getting ready to bring her home. And Jarrett Maalis in first with a 1:51.30. Kent looks like he's racing here. Kent and Isaac. And Kent comes in second. Attaboy, Kent, with a 1:59.37. Isaac over there in lane 5 for Centennial with a 2:00:58. Henry Matzek in 4th with a 2:09:30. In 5th is Nate Zimmerman with a 2:11:68. 6th is Garrett Clark with a 2:12:91. Onto the JV for the 200-yard IM. We've got 3 Centennial boys. Brennan Nielsen, lane 3. Evan Lautenschlager. And Devin Swenson in lane 5. And Matt Kuffner in lane 2.
Swimming in lane 2 for Centennial, Matt Kuffner. In lane 3, Brennan Nielsen, Centennial.
They're mixing,
In
like
lane
these
4,
are all mixed
Evan
up.
Lautenschlager, Centennial.
I want
And in
them
lane 5, Devin Swenson, Centennial.
by event, but also I want lane, so it ends with one on top.
The boys making their turn here to the back. And on to the freestyle. For lane 3 there. And lane 4. Brennan Nielsen in lane 3. And Evan Lautenschlager. What a great name. Devin Swenson over there in lane 5. And Kuffner in lane 2. Boys all coming in. And we got Brennan in first with a 2:43.47. Evan in with a 2:44.62. Devin with a 2:50. Oh, pardon me. That was Kuffner in with a 2:53.72. And Devin in with a 3:02.21. Nice job, boys. Here we're on to the 2IM varsity. Lane 2, we're going to have Tyler Hay, Hudson. Lane 3, Sawyer Colada, Centennial. Lane 4, Brady Wainionpaa. Lane 5, Benno Bauer. Lane 6, Ben Weaver. Out of Hudson. Lane 7, Jaden Manthe. Centennial. And lane 8, Alfonso Hester.
In lane 6, Ben Weaver, Hudson. In lane 7, Jaden Manthe, Centennial. And in lane 8, Alfonso Hester, Hudson.
And Brady's got a pretty commanding lead here out in lane 4. With looks to be Benno over there in lane 5 in a pretty commanding second place. Lane 6, Ben Weaver and Tyler Hay neck and neck coming into the final 50. Tyler gets the turn first. And he got Sawyer, Salata. Alfonso Hester over there in lane 8. Lane 7, Jaden Manthe. And Brady in first with a 2:01.09. Second is Benno with a 2:18.60. Tyler and Ben Weaver coming in third and fourth. Tyler in with a 2:24.37. Ben in with a 2:26.19. Over in lane 7, you got Jaden Manthe with fifth place at a 2:37.11. Sawyer in with a 2:39.69 in lane 2. And Alfonso Hester in with a 2:46.70 in lane 7. Up we got the 50-yard freestyle JV coming up. All right, we got a race here. Yeah. How about that, huh? Good job, boys. We had Noel Daniel in lane 1 there. Jacob Woolery, lane 2. Jacob Timothy, lane 3. Centennial. Sam Manchester, Hudson, lane 4. Dante Baldwin, Centennial, lane 5. Owen Pevan, lane 6. And Owen Kirkpatrick over there in lane 7 on the last race. Here we're in the JV Heat 2 of 3. Henry Wold, lane 1. Brad Hutter, lane 2. Thomas Ackerdecht, lane 3. Centennial. Lane 4, Nicholas Soriano-Murcia, Hudson. Lane 5, Branson Backus, Centennial. Lane 6, Luke Manchester, Hudson. Lane 7, Holden Shield, Centennial. And lane 8, Cameron Kudinger, Hudson.
Swimming in lane 1, Henry Wold, Centennial. Lane 2, Brad Hutter, Hudson. Lane 3, Thomas Ackernecht, Centennial. Lane 4, Nicholas Soriano-Murcia, Hudson. Lane 5, Branson Backus.
Got a pretty good race here.
Luke Manchester, Hudson.
Do my best to give you time.
Centennial. And lane 8, Cameron Kudinger, Hudson.
All right, looks like over in lane 8, outside smoke. Nice work over there for Cameron Kudinger. In with a 35.06. Second place is Backus in lane 5 with a 35.44. Third place, Hudson Soriano-Murcia, 35.53. Fourth place was Manchester, and sorry that times just came down, so try and get those published. We got Heat 3 of 3 here. Calvin Woldvogel, Centennial, lane 1. Madden Woodward, lane 2, Hudson. Ethan Van Wald, lane 3, Centennial. Will Garza, lane 4, Hudson. Elliot Shepard, lane 5, Centennial. Luke Jannusch, Hudson. Peyton Trojanowski, lane 7. And Noah Mertens, lane 8. And again, outside smoke. Centennial Shepard with first at a 27.84. Second was Mertens and Hudson lane 8, 29.88. And Will Garza with a 30 flat 05. And fourth was Trojanowski with a 30.76. All right, we got the varsity here. Lane 2, Jack Pomeroy, Hudson. Lane 3, T. Greason, Storman, Centennial. Lane 4, Grant Slavsky, Hudson. Lane 5, Joseph Murray, Centennial. Lane 6, August Castro, Hudson. Lane 7, Alex Larkin, Centennial. And over in lane 8, Benny Brinks. We got a race. We got a race. And it looks like Joseph Murray from Centennial's taking it home. They 24-14. Grant Slavsky in second with a 24-36. August Castro third, 25-09. Fourth is Larkin, the 25-67. Fifth, Greason Storman, Centennial, 25-82. Sixth was Benny Brinks with a 26-31. Seventh was Larkin. I should clarify. B. Larkin in 26-33. And looks like Jack Pomeroy with a 26-50 in eighth place.
Our dive order this evening will be as follows. Up first, Gavin Manthey, Centennial. Manthey. Up second, Tasia Mannem, Hudson. Up third, Elijah Manthey, Centennial. Up fourth, Isaac McKenzie, Hudson. And up fifth, Blake Thorson, St. Paul Centennial. Okay, here we go. Just a reminder for diving, we do need quiet during the dives. Quiet during the dives. Thank you. This is round one. Up first, Gavin with dive 201A, a back dive straight, 1.7. Scores, 5, 5 1/2, 5. Up next, Tasia with dive 301C, a reverse dive tuck, 1.6. Scores, 3 1/2, 3 1/2, 3 1/2. Up next, Elijah with dive 201A, a back dive straight, 1.7. Scores, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 4. Up next, Isaac with dive 302C, a reverse 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores, 5 1/2, 6 1/2, 5. Up next, Blake with dive 201A, a back dive straight, 1.7. Scores, 5 1/2, 5, 5. Moving on to round 2. This is Gavin with dive 202C, a back 1 somersault tuck, 1.5. Scores, 5 1/2, 5, 5. Up next, Tasia with dive 201A, a back dive straight, 1.7. Scores, 3, 3, 3 1/2. Up next, Elijah with dive 203C, a back 1.5 somersault tuck, 2.0. Scores, 4 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. Up next, Isaac with dive 5231D, a back 1.5 somersault with a half twist, free, 2.1. Scores, 4, 5, 4 1/2. Up next, Blake with dive 101C, a forward dive tuck, 1.2. Scores, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. Thank you. Moving on to round 3. Up first, Gavin with dive 101C, a forward dive tuck, 1.2. Scores, 4 1/2, 5, 5. Up next, Tasia with dive 5211A, a back dive with a half twist straight, 1.8. Scores 3 1/2, 4, 4. Up next, Elijah with dive 104C, a forward 2 somersault tuck, 2.2. Scores 4 1/2, 2 1/2, 3 1/2. Up next, Isaac with dive 204C, a back 2 somersault tuck, 2.0. Scores 5, 6, 5 1/2. Up next, Blake with dive 202C, a back 1 somersault tuck, 1.5. Scores 5 1/2, 5, 5. Moving on to round 4. Up first, Gavin with dive 103C, a forward 1 1/2 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores 4 1/2, 5, 4 1/2. Up next, Tasia with dive 101A, a forward dive straight, 1.4. Scores 4 1/2, 5, 4 1/2. Up next, Elijah with dive 302C, a reverse 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores 5, 5, 5. Up next, Isaac with dive 105C, a forward 2 1/2 somersault tuck, 2.4. Scores 5 1/2, 6, 6. Up next, Blake with dive 102C, a forward 1 somersault tuck, 1.4. Scores 5, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. Moving on to round 5. Up first, Gavin with dive 401C, an inward dive tuck 1.4. Scores 5, 5, 6. Up next, Tasia with dive 102C, a forward 1 somersault tuck 1.4. Scores 3 1/2, 3, 3. Up next, Elijah with dive 401C, an inward dive tuck 1.4. Scores 5 1/2, 5, 5 1/2. Up next, Isaac with dive 403C, an inward 1 1/2 somersault tuck 2.2. Scores 5, 6, 5 1/2. Up next, Blake with dive 401C, an inward dive tuck 1.4. Scores 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 6 1/2. Moving on to our final round, round 6. Up first, Gavin with dive 5211A, a back dive with a half twist straight, 1.8. Scores 4 1/2, 3 1/2, 5. Up next, Tasia with dive 401C, an inward dive tuck 1.4. Scores 3, 3, 4. Up next, Elijah with dive 5221D, a back 1 somersault with a half twist, free 1.7. Scores 3 1/2, 3, 3 1/2. Up next, Isaac with dive 404C, an inward 2 somersault tuck, 2.8. Scores 4, 4 1/2, 4 1/2. Up next, Blake with dive 5121D, a forward 1 somersault with a half twist, free 1.7. Scores 4, 4, 4. And that ends our diving portion of the evening.
Hey, Stacy, can you announce to tell them to be careful because they just knocked we lost the screen.
Be careful by the projector.
Please be careful by the projector there.
All right, we are getting back to it here, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed the diving. We got a software update with our Streamline system, so hopefully we will have times and splits for all the swimmers and names, which would even be better. So, fingers crossed. like to just take this opportunity to say happy holidays to everybody. Hope you all have a nice, safe, and enjoyable holiday season coming up. For those Hudson families that are viewing, we've got another race coming up on Thursday against a conference team against Eau Claire. This is a big event, always a big event every year.
Next up, event 11, the boys 100-yard butterfly, JV.
All right, for the JV, we've got 3 boys swimming, all Centennial boys. Lane 3, we're going to have Aiden Anderson. Lane 4, Ethan Stegora. And lane 5, Chase Horstman. JV 100 fly.
Swimming lane 3 for Centennial, Aiden Anderson. In lane 4, Ethan Stegora, Centennial. And in lane 5, Chase Hortzman, Centennial.
And the boys are coming back here. Looks like Ethan Segura is coming in for what hopefully will be, let's say, a 1:15. Oh, he gets there at a 1:14.82. Attaboy, Ethan. Chase Horstman coming in, as well as Aiden Anderson. Aiden Anderson with a touch of a 1:25.62. And Chase touching the wall with a 1:39.27. Chase Horstman.
Up next, event 12, the boys 100-yard butterfly, varsity.
All right, here we go. Lane 2, Tyler Sias, Hudson. Lane 3, Joseph Murray, Centennial. Lane 4, Andrew Hanson, Hudson. Lane 5, Caleb Cregan, Centennial. Lane 6, Grant Slavsky, Hudson. Lane 7, Tyler Salata. Lane 7 and lane 8, Nate Zimmerman.
Sias. In lane 3, Joseph Murray, Centennial. Lane 4, Andrew Hanson, Hudson. Lane 5, Caleb Cregan, Centennial. Lane 6, Grant Slavsky, Hudson. Lane 7, Tyler Salata, Centennial. And in lane 8, Nate Zimmerman, Hudson.
And Andrew coming in here. He's pushing hard. Let's see if he can somehow get under. And he gets a 49.68. Oh, my gosh. That is a best time for Andrew. A 49.68. Sub 50. Well done. Attaboy. Second place is Cregan with a 101.54. Third place, Grant Slavsky with a 101.54. Oh, they tied. How about that? Love that. Nice job, boys.
This is heat 1 of 4.
And we're on to the 100 free here. JV. We got 4 heats of the JV. Thomas Ackerdecht, Centennial. Danny Greeman, Centennial, lane 2. Grayson Whisperer, Wespisser, lane 3. Noel Daniel, lane 4. Ethan Van Wald, Centennial, lane 5. Cameron Kudinger, lane 6, Hudson. And Henry Wold, Centennial, lane 7.
Lane 4 is not, I couldn't, he's not doing a lot of
All right, on to heat 2. I'm going to do my best here. These are not on our sheet. Printer's not great, so Manthe, lane 1. Manchester, lane 2. Hudson. Centennial, lane 3. Peacock. Lane 4, Hudson Mertens. Lane 5, Centennial Kinsella. Lane 6, Hudson Jannusch. Lane 7, Wells Centennial. And lane 8, Hutter Hudson. And the boys are coming in here. Looks like Centennial Wells out in lane 7 with first at the 1:10:57. Second is Mertens, 1:11:23. Third, Centennial Kinsella, 1:17:24. And we got heat 2 here. Richardson, Centennial, lane 1. Soriano-Murcia, Hudson, lane 2. Zapko, lane 3, Centennial. Lane 4, Will Garza, Hudson. Lane 5, Page, Centennial. Lane 6, Woodward, Hudson. Lane 7, Centennial, Peacock. And lane 8, Kirkpatrick, Hudson. All right, the boys are in there. First place, Centennial Page with a 57-54. Very happy young man there. Second place, Hudson Soriano-Murcia had a soft touch. Oh, actually, sorry, he just came in. Second place is Zapco, Centennial 106.07. Third place, Kirkpatrick 107.87. Fourth, Peacock with a 109.85. Fifth place, Will Garza 111.08. Sixth place, Richardson 114.67. Seventh is Woodward with a 115.82. And Soriano-Murcia with a 122.62. And you got 4 Hudson Raiders in the water here. Anthony Weefel, lane 2. Jacobi, lane 4. Manchester, lane 6. And Pevan, lane 8. All Hudson boys.
Next up, line 14, the boys 100-yard freestyle varsity.
All right, got the varsity here. 100 free. Murphy Beatty, lane 2. Diggory, Centennial, lane 3. Wainionpaa, Hudson, lane 4.
So in lane 2 for Hudson, Murphy Beatty. In lane 3 for Centennial, Jacob
Diggory, lane 3.
For Hudson, Brady, Wainionpaa. In lane 5,
Isaac Nguyen in lane 5. Lane 6, Jacob Woolery. Lane 7, Larkin. And lane 7, or lane 8, Logan Alters, Hudson. A little rusty here, the first time out of the gates. Wish our technology was working, but there too we will improve. I just know it. We've got some smart people on the case, so we'll figure it out. Nice swim. Brady Wainionpaa in first there with a 50-47. Second is Nguyen with a 52-91. Third, Murph Beatty with a 55-17. And Larkin in fourth with a 57-48. Next event we've got is the 500 free. And I think we just have one race of the varsity here. Oh, I guess we have a couple of JV swimmers here in lane 1 and lane 8. Centennial boys, Manthe in lane 1 and Trojanowski in lane 8. JV. Rest of the Hudson swimmers and Centennial swimmers are varsity. Got August Castro Hudson lane 2. Clark at a Centennial in lane 3. Jarrett Maalis lane 4 Hudson. Lane 5, Centennial, you've got Schubauer. And lane 6, you got Hudson Ben Weaver. And lane 7, Centennial, you've got Cretan. And this is the 500, so sit back, enjoy.
Swimming in lane 1 for Centennial, Jaden Manley. In lane 2 for Hudson, Augie Castro. In lane 3 for Centennial, Garrett Clark. In lane 4 for Hudson, Jared Maalis. In lane 5, Benno Schubauer, Centennial. In lane 6, Ben Weaver, Hudson. In lane 7, Brendan Shertian, Centennial. And in lane 8, Peyton Trojanowski, Centennial.
Did you see what the which toner it was?
Good boy, Jarrett coming in under 5 minutes with a 4:55.71. Atta boy. Nicely done, Jarrett. Second place is to Centennial there with a 5:36. Third place to Hudson, Ben Weaver with a 5:49.57. Fourth place, Hudson, August Castro, 6:03.07. Fifth place, Clark, 6:10.71. And we still have our, it looks like lane 7. Cretan, I think, with a 6:12.64. And JV there, Manthe comes in first on JV with a 6:43.84. And Trojanowski with a 7:32.83.
Up next, event 17, the boys 200-yard freestyle relay, JV.
All right, on to the boys 200 free relay. We got the JV 200 free relay. Lane 1, Centennial C. Lane 2, Hudson B. Lane 3, Centennial B. Lane 4, Hudson A. Lane 5, Centennial A. Lane 6, Hudson C. And Lane 7, Centennial D.
Hudson B team of Cameron Kudinger, Max Hudson, Noah Mertens, and Brad Hutter. In lane 3, Centennial B team of Elijah Mandai, Holman Shields, Sebastian Kinsella, and Nick Peacock. In lane 4, Hudson's A team of Owen Kirkpatrick, Madden Woodward, Luke Jannusch, and Luke Manchester. In lane 5, Centennial's A team of Evan
Onto the varsity here. All right, lane 1, we got Centennial D. Lane 2, Hudson C. Lane 3, Centennial B. Lane 4, Hudson A. Lane 5, Centennial A. Lane 6, Hudson B. Lane 7, Centennial C. And Lane 8, Hudson D. All right, on to the 100 back. 3 more events left tonight. 100 back, 100 breast, 400 free relay.
Up next, event 19, the boys 100-yard backstroke, JV.
And the 100 back here, we got JV boys, George, lane 3, Centennial. Swenson, lane 4, Centennial. And lane 5, Horstman, Centennial. On her back, Varsity Boys. Lynch Rye, Centennial, lane 1. Ken Zurn, lane 2. Page, Centennial, lane 3. Andrew Hanson, lane 4. Hudson. Cregan, Centennial, lane 5. Murphy Beatty, lane 6. Hudson. Nielsen, lane 6. And Alfonso Hester, Hudson, lane 8. And Andrew in first with a 52-53. Centennial Cregan, lane 5 in second with a 101.22. Third place is Kent Zurn with a 102.04. Fourth place, Murph Beatty, 103.21. Fifth place, Page Centennial, 109.71. Got the 100 breast here. JV, Richardson, Centennial, lane 1. Lane 3, Shepherd, Centennial. Lane 4, Platson, Hudson. Lane 5, Lautenschlager, lane 5. And Harvey Zapko, lane 7, Centennial. Still digging that Lautenschlager name. Fantastic. Boys are coming in here, and we got, it's like one heat of the varsity boys, then on to the 400 free relay. First place there was Lautenschlager with a 124.13. Second place, Platson, 127.80. Third place, Shepherd, 127.82. And for varsity boys, we got lane 1, Centennial Anderson. Lane 2, Hudson Matzek. Lane 3, Centennial Kuffner. Lane 4, Hudson Sias. Lane 5, Sawyer Salata. Lane 6, Tai Hay. Lane 7, Centennial Peacock. And lane 8, Hudson Jonas Andrews. And it looks like Sias Hudson coming in first with a 107, 108.99. Ty Hay second with a 109.79. Third place, Centennial Kuffner, 113.76. Fourth place, Salada, 114.89. Fifth place, Hudson Matzek, 115.85. Sixth place, Peacock, 121.96. Seventh, Centennial Anderson, 122.69. And eighth place, Jonas Andrews, 126.17. This is JV, Centennial C, Lane 1, Hudson C, Lane 2, Centennial B, Lane 3, Hudson A, Lane 4, Centennial A, Lane 5, Hudson B, Lane 6, and over in Lane 7 we got Centennial D. We got the 4x100, one heat of JV, one heat of varsity, and that will be it for this evening. Centennial A team over in lane 5 looking pretty solid for the start. Centennial B team, second place. Hudson A in next. Hudson B following shortly behind. It's a long race, so there's plenty of time for people to catch up. Or maybe they'll pull further ahead. Centennial looking pretty solid there. Centennial A's in the water. Hudson A in the water. Hudson A looks like they're maybe gaining a little ground on the Centennial B squad. Or the Centennial A squad. And Will Garza is going to be jumping in here, and there he goes. Looks like Centennial A is back in the lead, but this could be a tight little final 50 here. Let's see. And Centennial A gets first with a 4:39.40. Hudson second with a 4:42.81. And I don't know. All right. I don't know. Something's wrong. There was some soft touches there. I don't really know outside of the first and second place, which were the Hudson A teams there. But whole bunch of boys working hard, swimming great.
Last event this evening, event 24, the boys 100-yard freestyle relay varsity.
All right. Centennial C, lane 1. Hudson C, lane 2. Centennial B, lane 3. Hudson A, lane 4. Centennial A, lane 5. Hudson B, lane 6. Centennial D, lane 7. And Hudson D, lane 8.
In lane 2, Hudson CT, Jack, Benny, Logan, and Owen. In lane 3, Centennial's B team, Jacob, Tyler, Garrett, and Alex. In lane 4, Hudson's A team, Jarrett, Brady, Ben, and Andrew. In lane 5,
Hudson A's got a pretty solid lead here. Looks like Centennial A is in second. And the Hudson A boys in with a 3:22.90 in first. Second is Centennial with a 3:41.28. Hudson B in third with a 3:45.26. Centennial B in fourth with a 4:01.09. Hudson C with a 4:02.89. Centennial C with a 4:12.26. Hudson D in with a 4:25.67. And Centennial D about to finish here with a 4:42.83. And that's a wrap for tonight, folks. Thanks for joining. We could probably get you some scores here. Hopefully we can get a score of what the meet is at shortly. Final score is Hudson 120.5, Centennial 60.5. So Hudson brings it home tonight. 120.5 to 65.5. Great job. Well done. Good sportsmanship across the board. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to the Centennial fans. Hope you have a blessed holiday. And fantastic evening. Take care. Drive safe, everyone. Unless you're at home, which then you don't have to drive, and that's a mighty fine situation you're in. Take care.